Hi, I'm Mitchell Kaneff, and I'm excited to be here in the Talbot Museum in Roanoke, Virginia. As a board member, I was honored to have 4 of my pieces put on permanent display here at the museum, of which they are showing currently. It is December 2nd, 2020, and I'm going to share what each piece has meant to me, why I was drawn to it, and a little bit of the history behind it. I started collecting with these 4 pieces, so they were the first pieces in my collection. Most of the things that I've collected over the years have been of the contemporary art influence, and I'm very excited about the opportunity to show some of the pieces that resonated with me. This is a Chris Martin 2006 Isaac Hayes painting. For the most part, I've always been drawn to colorful paintings and pretty much colorful things in life. It's a oil on canvas by Chris Martin, as I mentioned, and I just love the shapes, colors, red, black are 2 of my favorite colors, but I also really enjoyed the 3-dimensional texture aspect of it. And before I got involved in collecting art, one of the big things I enjoyed in life is music. So Isaac Hayes is a famous soul R&B singer, and the painting is called the Isaac Hayes painting. And as I was starting to collect, the other thing that I loved was the size of the painting and the scope. I thought this would be a wonderful piece in my living room. And as I was also collecting and doing research on it, learning and educating myself, it was on the cover of Art News as a piece itself. And I also donated that magazine, which was given to the museum as well, showing this piece donated. The scope is also, for me, I always am into sensual things and shapes, and the few images here remind me of the shape of women's bodies, and also potentially African in nature by some of the movement and connection in and out of each other. So even though it's an abstract painting, it still references, in my mind, individuals. So this is a Lawrence Beck painting. My first love before I got into music was photography. I've been a photographer from the age of 10 with a 35 millimeter through the lens camera. And I was just also drawn just to the sense of detail, the shadows, the reflection, and I couldn't afford a Monet painting. And with the lilies here, it really just was something that was spectacular. I love the format size as well of this particular piece. Very still, very serene, and the reflection of the trees that are sitting on the edge of the lake all are within the painting itself. So again, just when I was collecting or started collecting in the beginning, I was always not just, is this going to have any intrinsic value, but am I drawn to this piece? So as a photographer, I was certainly admiring his technique and also the composition. For one of the things, my grandmother was an artist and also showed here at the museum and Expo 2014. And the thing that I will never forget that she said to me when she would look at my photographs is she said, "Mitchell, you have a great eye for composition." So I guess one of the things I've always taken from her is that. So when I look at things, are they speaking to me as an image? So this is the 3rd piece that I believe I collected and started getting involved in. Daniel Hessen's. Again, for me, it was very powerful. It reminded me of Georgia O'Keeffe in terms of the flower and the bouquet, and obviously a very sensual piece as well, because it could obviously look like a woman here in many different aspects, from her hips to her belly button and stomach up, and almost kind of a gift to humanity. But I love the colors, I love the brush strokes. A lot of thick, wet kind of strokes were laid in this piece, but each angle you looked at it, it also changed in its view, and in different lighting it shows up. Daniel Hessen's also was very interesting for me. Just everyone has a signature. Some people sign their paintings, some people don't sign their paintings. On the back of this canvas is actually a piece of his hair taped to the back. So that's his signature. So I guess if you were a Warhol and you're looking for the stamp of the Warhol collection on the top part of the canvas, he likes to put hair. I don't know what's happened to Daniel Hessenes, but I hope the museum enjoys as much as I did for many years. So for me, art is always about, does it upset you? Does it move you? Does it have you look a second and third time? I was walking down Madison Avenue. I live in New York City and a resident in New York City, but super excited to also just bought an apartment here in Roanoke and be part of the community. We've actually been here for 25 years now, so very proud to now live downtown. When I was walking up Madison Avenue, this was in the window of a gallery whose name I forgot, and this is a Robert Mars, 2000, also 6, which was interesting, very similar period of time when I started collecting. What I loved about this was Americana. You know, he went around the country and shot different sort of neon signage, putting together, I love this, broken letters of a cocktail lounge and restaurant. But the whole thing is mounted to a newspaper. So his background, instead of a canvas, or instead of some sort of aluminum piece, is actually, and he actually ran it all along the trim. That's why I never framed it, because I thought it was fun to look at it from the front, from the side, you know, kind of get an idea. It even has some prices of things, some names of different things that are going on. And again, I just loved how the image came in. The actual liquor sign is pointing towards a telephone pole with birds on it sitting going in a different direction. So for me, it was just an interesting piece. I loved looking at it, and I enjoyed that also in my home for a number of years. And he had signed that on the bottom. So these are the 4 pieces that are on permanent collection at Taubman. I encourage you all to come down and see this unbelievable museum and these wonderful pieces besides mine that are hanging here now. And if you can't, please go online and enjoy these images visually, and someday come down and see them in person, because they're even more impressive when you see them in person. Thank you.